You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I'm your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody stopping by and paying us a visit here at Chat Sports. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, though, because that is the #1 way to get featured on our mailbag. So if you haven't yet, you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, don't be a weirdo. Go down right now, hit that sub button. Look, you want to beat the Vikings? Subscribe. Sub for Giants playoff dubs. Don't be the person that jinxes it. Go down right now, hit that big red button. Let's start with It's Max Beats with a $5 super chat. It says, how about, what did I say, 5? Did I say 500? I think I said 5. I don't know. Fireball's hitting. $5 super chat from Max says, how about stealing Jettas from the Vikings after beating them? Yeah, I'd love to. Let's put him in the back of an F-150 and drive him from Minnesota to New Jersey. I just don't think that the Vikings will let a guy like Justin Jefferson out of their building. He's in the third year of his deal, so you're going to pick up his fifth-year option after this season. And then I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings start negotiating a contract extension as soon as this offseason comes. If I'm Justin Jefferson, I want to be paid the highest receiver contract that's ever been done. If somehow the Vikings let him go, yeah, I'd trade 3 first-round picks for Justin Jefferson. I absolutely would. John, what up, man? He says, who will be leading the Giants wide receivers in yards this Sunday? I think this is a Hodgins game. I think it's an Isaiah Hodgins game. I mean, it's only going to be 3 receivers, right? It's going to be Hodgins, James, or Slayton. I did say I'd like to see Slayton get a couple of deep shots. Those are just game-changing. He catches one of those, the game is completely different. Even if he draws a pass interference, that's going to be a good move for the good move for the Giants. I'm testing this Vikings secondary. They give up the 31st most passing yards per game. Throw the ball to Hodgins deep once. Throw the ball to Darius Slayton deep once. Let Richie James eat up in the middle of the field. He played pretty good. I know he had that bad drop against the Vikings. But since then, he's played pretty damn good football. If I had to say, though, John, I'm saying Isaiah Hodgins. I think he's the leader in yards comes this Sunday. Antonio, do you think the Giants should pursue Michael Thomas? He used to be so good, ? He was good. I don't know what you're questioning. But he says, think he wants out of New Orleans. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Michael Thomas because back in 2019, he had one of the best receiver seasons in history. He had 150 grabs in 2019, and he showed that he could be one of the best receivers in the NFL. But since he went for 149 receptions for 1,725 yards, I don't know what happened. He didn't play in 2021. He played 3 games in 2022. You just can't trust a guy like that, to be honest. Look, if I could trade a 7th or 6th or 5th round pick for Michael Thomas, I'd probably do it, but I'm not mortgaging the future for a guy like Michael Thomas that's played 3 games in the past 2 seasons. He's still just 29 years old, 6'3". I mean, you catch 150 balls, 125 balls, and 104 balls in 3 straight seasons. The dude's got juice. It's just, I wonder if he's ever going to get back to what he was. Would you trade for him? T for trade, P for pass. Neo, what up, Neo? Do you think James Washington will play Sunday? I think he'll be active, but I don't expect him to have a big role. I just think you pick somebody up on a Wednesday before you play the most important game of the season on Sunday. So you got Wednesday's going to fly. He tried out on Tuesday, probably signed the contract on Tuesday. So he'll be there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days, and you're going to throw him out there in the most important game of the season. What happens if he runs the wrong route? What happens if he's not on the same page with Daniel Jones? I think this is a move for the future. That's what Joe Schoen has been doing. He's been buying low on these players with no risk, and he's hit on a lot of them. He's got 10 players this year that make under $1 million that have been big-time contributors, like Jihad Ward and Fabian Morrow, Isaiah Hodgins, Richie James. Like, he's had those guys. Landon Collins, Jason Pennock. I just don't know if I would put James Washington out there. I'd make him active, but I'm not asking him to do too much this weekend. MT43. You think Jones takes as much money as possible, or does he take a moderate amount, leaving a cap space for others' needs, i.e. the Brady method? I hope he does. But let me ask you guys this. If you were Daniel Jones, would you take as much money as possible, or would you take money so other people could make money? I'm not blaming him if he takes a big contract. That's what I would do. At the end of the day, it's a business, right? That's what the NFL teams tell you. It's a business. It is a business. So I'm going to do what's best for my business. If I'm Jones, I'm getting every single dollar that I absolutely can. As the Giants fan in me, I hope he takes the Brady method. But I think Jones is going to sign a deal for about 4 years around the $100 million range, $25 to $28 million per. That's what I'm thinking for a guy like Daniel Jones. Make sure you guys are sub to the channel. Sub for Giants dubs. You want the Giants to beat the Vikings come this Sunday. Come subscribe to the channel. We're getting closer and closer to 23,000 subscribers on the channel. I want to get there by Sunday. So if you haven't yet, go down right now. Hit that big red button. Melissa says, how far do the Giants go in the playoffs? Look, anything can happen in the playoffs. Absolutely anything can happen in the playoffs. I think they win this week, and then I think it gets tough. They could beat the Eagles. They could beat the Cowboys. But you got to go out and do it. They could go to the Super Bowl. They absolutely could. We've seen crazier stuff happen. We've seen this Giants team back in 2008 and 2011 go from the wild card to the playoffs. We've seen it time and time again. The Eagles did it. Like a lot of teams do it. But you got to play sound football. You got to take care of the football. You got to play good defense, complimentary ball. No doubt about it, the Giants could go to the Super Bowl. Let's focus on Minnesota, though. Let's beat Minnesota, then we'll talk about that next week. Melissa, I like the question, though. Ricky, my guy, says we can live without Kafka, but without Wink is a different story. That's a good point. I think both these coordinators have done an exceptional job. I do think, though, that Mike Kafka is kind of not being as accounted. We're not giving Mike Kafka the credit he deserves. A video earlier in the week, I talked about the rumors. Go check that out after this video. You'll see the stats that I put together for the Giants offense in 2021, Giants offense in 2022. I think in 2021, they were the worst red zone offense. Now they're 7th best. And I think they had the most turnovers in the NFL in 2021. And now they have the 2nd least turnovers. So that's the difference a good play caller does. They make you efficient, and they make you good in the red zone. But what Wink has done with this defense is incredible. I'd hate to lose both of them. I think Kafka, sooner than later, will be a head coach, though. I don't know if it's this cycle, but I think next year is probably Mike Kafka's last year with the New York Football Giants. Make sure you guys have got your Giants Real One shirts. The playoffs are here, and it's time for the real ones to stand up. Get your Real One Giants Now shirts by Chat Sports. We got blue, we got red, and we got black. Go to chatsports.com/realgiants. Chatsports.com/realgiants. That link will be in the comments and description of today's show. If you get a shirt, take a picture of it of you wearing it. Send it to me on Twitter, and I'll put you on the show. Black, red, blue, Giants colors, Giants gear. Go get it. Chatsports.com/realgiants. Brightest Future, my man, says, do you think we should draft a good running back? It would give us a 3-headed monster running and keep Barkley fresher. I'm not drafting a running back in the top 5 rounds with Saquon Barkley on this team. But I'd be cool with drafting a running back in round 6 or round 7 because I don't want to pay a lot of money to a backup back because you're going to have to pay Barkley a good amount of coin. So I'm definitely down to draft one and get him on the cheap, but I'm not drafting another running back with a premium asset. 5th, 6th, 7th round is what I'd be looking for to draft a running back, brother. Pokemore says they can get anything for Higgins, and he's not very costly for the Bengals. Also, what receivers would you keep that we have now? They can get anything for Higgins. Yeah, you're not going to get T. Higgins for the cheap in a trade. I know a lot of people are always saying that the Bengals are just going to trade him. They're going to trade him. They got Joe Burrow. They got a young QB. It's not like the Niners where the Niners have the most expensive roster in the NFL and primetime players at every position. Receivers that I would keep, though, I'm bringing back Isaiah Hodgins. If I could bring back Darius Slayton on the cheap, I would do it. I'd even bring back Richie James. I'd love to bring back Sterling Shepard. I'd love to bring back Wan'Dale Robinson. And then I go add 2 more guys, 2 more game changers. And then you either keep 7 or 6, and if you got to cut James or Slayton, I think you do it. I'd love to bring back Shepard, but I'm not doing it for anything more than a 1-year veteran minimum deal. He's my favorite player on the Giants, Sterling Shepard, just because how long he's been here. He deserves it. Like, he's put his body on the line. His body just continues to give up on him. Feel bad for him, but I can't pay him anything more than 1-year veteran minimum. Reginald, my guy, he says, if the New York Giants draft a wide receiver in the first round, they should draft Jalen Hyatt. I like Hyatt. He's a great receiver. He's explosive. He's fast. He's a big play guy. I also like Jordan Addison out of USC. And I also like Jackson Smith and Jigba. My number 1 wide receiver I would want to draft is Jordan Addison. He gives me Stephon Diggs vibes. The way he's able to run routes, get in and out of his cuts, push the ball downfield. I want route runners, and that's what Jordan Addison is. He's an absolute beast. I'd be cool with Hyatt, but if Hyatt and Addison are on the board, I'm taking Addison. Last question. Show me the money. What are the Giants' biggest needs this offseason? Great question. We can go through mine real quick. My number 1 need is a wide receiver. You gotta get some playmakers on this team. Gotta help Daniel Jones take some pressure off of Saquon Barkley, lighten up those boxes. I think you gotta add 2 good wide receivers this offseason. And I think you gotta go out and get another good cornerback. Adoree Jackson was great earlier in the season, but he's hurt. He's been hurt for quite some time in his career. You got to go get another cornerback. I think interior offensive line is the 3rd need for this team. You need a starting center. You need another guard. That's where I'm leaning. And I think the 4th biggest need is inside linebacker. Jalen Smith has been good. He's been good, no doubt about it. But Jalen Smith in the year 2023 and 2024 can't be your best inside linebacker. I want one of those game-changing guys. Sideline to sideline, never has to come off the field. I think we've seen, like, people want to downgrade how important inside linebacker is. Go look at the numbers before and after the Roquan Smith trade for Baltimore. Go look at what Fred Warner does every single season for the San Francisco 49ers. You get a good inside linebacker, your defense takes a whole nother step. What about you? What do you think? What say you? What is the Giants' biggest need heading into the offseason? What is the Giants' biggest need this offseason? Sound off in the comments section. I got wide receiver, corner, interior offensive line, linebacker. What do you have? Sound off for me down below.